deficit is soaring high as carbon emissions fill the sky. And North Korea's firing bombs as political accusations fly. And California just got hit by a swarm of killer bees. And now you tell me there's a fucking global disease. COVID-19, COVID-19. I've been sitting here in quarantine while the nightly news tells deadly tales of COVID-19. COVID-19, COVID-19. I've been wiping all my groceries clean 'cause I don't want to get COVID-19. COVID-19, COVID-19. I just bought hydroxychloroquine from a guy who's got a podcast about COVID-19. COVID-19, COVID-19. I just bathed my dog in Listerine 'cause I don't want him to get COVID-19. The virus targets older folks. The late night shows stop telling jokes. The White House says it's China's fault while others say it's just a hoax. And face masks block saliva drops, or maybe they don't. One day we all will be immune, or maybe we won't. COVID-19, COVID-19. Have you seen the price of gasoline when the whole world's staying home because of COVID-19? COVID-19, COVID-19. There'll be no such thing as in between when you're talking about COVID-19. COVID-19, COVID-19. Take another shot of OxyClean as we raise our glasses high again to COVID-19. COVID-19, COVID-19. How I wish I had a time machine so I could go back and kill baby COVID-19. And the world won't have to deal with COVID-19. He was a star, but he didn't get far. That's the way of fortune and fame. Yeah, he was funny, made lots of money, but you can't remember his name. And if you see me out on the street, buy me a cup of coffee, put me back on my feet. He went to parties and he met starlets, even had a wife or two.
Sorry.
Those were the good days, those were the old days, but now those days are through. And if you see me out on the street, buy me a cup of coffee, put me back on my feet. It was November, or maybe December. She saw him on a TV show. He did a guest spot, and then she remembered his name was Hollywood Joe. And if you see me out on the street, buy me a cup of coffee, put me back on my feet. Buy me a cup of coffee, put me me back on my feet.
Checking the mic 1, 2. Checking the mic. Computer volume 10. Computer, what time is it?
It's noon.
Computer, can you be more specific?
I'm not quite sure how to help you with that.
Oh my God. Computer, what kind of pizza uses an egg?
From thekitchencommunity.org. Pizza Capricciosa loads the entire surface with artichokes, mushrooms, ham, olives, and sometimes a boiled egg.
Okay. Whoo! Checking the 1, 2. Help! 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 Checking the mic 1. Checking the mic 1. Checking the mic 1, 2. Help! 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 Oh God. Computer, what is the weather?
The current weather is 68 degrees Fahrenheit with cloudy skies. Today, you can look for intermittent clouds, with a high of 74 degrees and a low of 57 degrees. By the way, you can also ask, what is the weather tomorrow?
Check. Hello everybody and welcome to Henry's Kitchen, where today we're going to be teaching you how to make some Memorial Day barbecue pizza pockets. And this comes to us from a website called Buddig. Deadlock B says, I got the check. You got a check? Pancake King says, it's nice here in LA, just troubled tank watch. Yes. There is a silo of some sort that was filled with toxic, noxious chemicals, and it sprang a leak. Not sure how. I'd say maybe it's a candidate for my Oops song, but if it becomes national news, which I hope it doesn't, but they're worried right now that it will explode. They're trying to keep all people away that enjoy smoking, especially people with those Zippo-style lighters. They're trying to keep them outside of a 20-foot radius because the sparks can fly and it will literally blow up the whole town. So Pancake King is right. We are terrified. The weather, however, is nice at the moment. But we're worried that maybe there will be some toxic particles or particulates. Computer, what is the difference between a particle and a particulate?
This might answer your question. According to Wikipedia, in grammar, the term particle has a traditional meaning, as a part of speech that cannot be inflected, and a modern meaning, as a function word associated with another word or phrase in order to impart meaning. According to Wikipedia, in metaphysics, particulars or individuals are usually contrasted with universals. Universals concern features that can be exemplified.
Computer, stop. Maybe there's not even a word particulate. She said particular. Corinne Opinion says, Computer, you're boring us. Ooh, that sound is never good. Mimsy Coon says, hello, Henriette. How art thou on this fine evening, my lady? Thanks, Mimsy Coon. I am doing just great. I think that the old English way of referring to a gentleman was you would say, my lady. And it's fun to speak in Old English. I doest well, and how art thou? The Balderdash lad says, was that an image of the exploding tank you had on before the stream? No, that was a different type of exploding tank. This is the one that Maui Girl shared of her bathroom. Apparently her toilet exploded, and the landlord said, no problem, you can use the neighbor's toilet. Apparently he worked out some type of a deal. It's nice how landlords are always pretty good about doing stuff like that. Brisket is walking around. You can hear the little pitter patter. I haven't set up the camera yet, so I will set up the camera. Brisket has been getting into positions that are not too dissimilar from those of the late roast beef. Here, maybe I'll set up the camera. Computer, is it possible...
I'm not quite sure how to help you with that.
I didn't finish the damn sentence, man. Royal Flush 9. Greatness follows greatness. It really does. Beanie Bobini says, does she like being held? I haven't figured that out yet. What my hope is that she walks over to the couch, at which point I will set up the camera. People with really good ears might be able to hear the sounds of drinking from a bowl, and also the pitter-patter of little toes on the hardwood floor. Let's check in with some of our alerts here. Dendra Leon, thank you very much for gifting a Tier 1 sub. That's wonderful of you. I appreciate that. And You Fear Jazz says, thou art awesome, Henry. Thank you, You Fear Jazz. And thou as well. And Lady Dina, thank you for cheering the 5 bits. And Royal Flush 9 says, I realized after 15 months Sunday streams that this stream is my temple. And Henry, you are my spiritual leader. Thank you very much, Royal Flush 9. I'm glad to know that I am in a leadership position of some sort. Oh, hold on. Let me get the camera on Brisket. Brisket has assumed a position that's not that much unlike that of the late roast beef. Computer, is it possible that cats can become reincarnated into dog form?
From Quora.com. It is possible, but very rare.
Okay. Well, I think this might be one of those rare cases. That's my guess. Yeah, definitely assuming the roast beef position. Four Wheeler says, I took out a second mortgage. What is the link for the vinyl album? Awesome. Congratulations. So you have thousands of dollars on hand. You want to go to elasticstage.com and look up the Jose Suicidio album, There's Something Wrong With Me. It's going to cost you a lot of money, and it's going to take several months to arrive, but it will. I can't wait for my copy to arrive. I did have to do a GoFundMe. Maui Girl says, and there's a link there. Thanks, It's Kate. Maui Girl 45 says, the dog is excited about the exploding toilet. Yeah. It definitely sounds that way. Wow, look at that. I really could probably just leave this camera on Brisket for a long time. The only thing is, she is a little bit more confused than roast beef was. I don't know that she loves being on camera. But roast beef didn't care for it either. As soon as he knew, private moment there. Okay, we're gonna leave that. Parasitosa says, Henry, what is your white noise of choice? I'd probably say falling rain, but every now and then I've been known to be a little bit more adventurous and get into something like crashing waves. Game Master Flash, what the fuck? Just gifted 5 Tier 1 subs. Thank you so much, Game Master Flash. That's very kind of you. That's very kind of you, Game Master Flash. Thanks for supporting the channel in that way. We've had a lot of subscribers lately. We have 411. I'd say that's a pretty damn good amount. And Four Wheelers says, I took out a second mortgage. We talked about that. And then Dendreleon gifted, and I think that catches us up. JV's Tech says, I do miss delicious pocket pizza. Pocket pizza, that's different from a pizza pocket. I guess that's when you put pizza in your pocket, which doesn't sound as tasty. Boner of a Lonely Fart just gifted 5 Tier 1 subs. Thank you so much, Boner. That's very kind of you. Thanks for the support on that. Hey, I hope everybody's having a good Memorial Day. Let's go through some of these other pictures. Memorial Day, of course, here in the U.S. I know a lot of people view internationally. Here, Pixie Lee sends us a picture here. Let's see what's going on in this from Pixie Lee. Dudes be like, why do they call it oven? My brother in Christ, you of in the cold food of hot eat the food. It's funny because I thought, well, maybe the reason this doesn't make sense to me is because I can't see that bottom line. But when I exposed the bottom line, I saw that it was actually more confusing than it was. What's happening here? Dudes be like, why do they call it oven? Wait, let me get the whole picture in the frame here. Dudes be like, why do they call it oven? My brother in Christ, you of the cold food of out hot eat the food. Okay. Well, thank you very much, Pixie Lee, for sending us this cool image. I don't quite understand. Hopeful Equinox says, I feel I'm too old to understand. Yeah, that could be. It could be one of these younger people things. Goat Sheed says, seems pretty self-explanatory. Well, Goat Sheed must be a younger person. The Chunks says, of in the cold food, like oven. Oh, I get it. Okay. Parasitosis says, this is a quote from a Tibetan monk. Okay. The Chunks says, of in the cold food. So it's a play on the word oven. Why do they call it oven? My brother in Christ, you of in the cold food of out hot eat. No, still don't quite get it. But that's okay. I'm going to be perfectly willing to own that on my own. Capacious T says, greetings, Earthlings. It's thy cube lover. How is your 24-hour day? 24-hour day. It's doing pretty good. Carinu Opinion says it's a very old Garfield quote here. Oh, I get it. Oh, yeah, that's the guy from Garfield, of course. No, still don't get it, though. Okay, we have an alert here from Pop-Tart Eater 47. Pop-Tart Eater 47 has subscribed for 3 months on Prime and says, I missed the day in English class when they explained this sentence. Yeah, let's try. Computer, can you please explain the sentence? Dudes be like, why do they call it oven, my brother in Christ, you of in the cold food of hot eat the floor? I'm sorry, eat the food.
I'm not quite sure how to help you.
Yeah, I don't think it would have been more clear if I had read it correctly. Parasitosis says, why is John presenting so erotically? That's just the look that you have when you're getting something out of the oven, I guess. Goat Sheet says, I think it's a quote from Garfield. I think this is from Garfield comic strip. Okay. Well, that explains why I didn't get it. Garfield and Bazooka Joe were two things that I didn't quite get. Computer Fart for Me wants to know where John went. We still have John.
He writes these really interesting chord progressions that will generate these beautiful melodies. But chorus is incredible in this song. And that's saying a lot because so many of his songs have great choruses. Let's check out the beginning.
Something hurts and it's way down deep. I think there's something wrong with me. I got friends that I never see.
Hold on.
They say they don't have time for me. I try to reach out to my family.
Why can't I fucking find John?
But I just get voicemail.
Let me solo the vocals so you can hear the beautiful vocal quality he has here.
I try to watch TV. It only saddens me. Everyone's yelling and screaming and fighting
I can't find John.
in the street. I put some pizza in the microwave. Forgot about it for several days.
He makes it sound so melancholy.
I don't have the video of John
delivery
anymore, I guess.
Of the melody.
That sucks.
But we'll let our drum fill there. Listen to the drum.
First she has a boyfriend, the next day she's engaged. Then she says she's married.
Sorry, that's Rick Beato really grooving out to Jose Suicidio. I don't know where John went. I can't find John. It's pissing me off, actually. All right, but we got to do a song. So let's find a background. Erks 2015 sends us a picture of Jopie, the dog. Maybe Jopie could be a fun companion for our dog Brisket, who is 100% assuming the role of roast beef now. This is weird. Computer, are you sure that a cat can't be reincarnated into a puppy dog?
I'm not quite sure how to help you with that.
One way to help me would be to answer the fucking question. Dazzle Cat says, yeah, that's not a normal dog. Yeah, I don't think so. It's Kate X says, Brisket brought to you by Camera by OBS Studio. Yeah, I want to thank the folks at Camera by OBS Studio for giving us that camera. And thank you, Jopie, for sending us this picture of Erks 2015. And let's see, Beanie Bobini sends a picture. I think this was at a Japanese garden somewhere in Northern California near San Francisco or something? I'm trying to remember. There was a caption there. Liberdaria says, the way Computer keeps acting out, I wonder if she needs a hug. Might have to give her a hug, actually. Guitar Joe says, maybe the oven fumes have an impact on every animal that enters your apartment. Yeah, it could be. Because this animal is definitely, well, there's movement there. That's a little bit more than we used to get from roast beef. But it's a very confused movement. This is actually how I sleep, by the way. That's exactly how I sleep. I wonder if she was imitating me when I'm sleeping. Renthar says, hi, Henry. My wife and I had to terminate our pregnancy at 19 weeks. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Last week because the baby got diagnosed with HLA-HS and only had half a heart. I'm sorry, HLA-HS, okay. I named the baby Sophia so that there's no chance of her coming back as a botchling. Okay, I don't know what a botchling is. I'm assuming that's a medical term. But HLA-HS, I'm not sure what that is. But either way, I'm very sorry to hear about all of that. But I thank you very much for viewing us today as we make Memorial Day Hot Pockets. Computer, what is a botchling?
I'm not quite sure how to help you with that.
No one knows. Boner of a Lonely Fart says Sandman enters. Okay, well, everybody says very sorry. Yeah, very sorry indeed to Renthar. Pancake King says, to my oldest daughter who's a witch, and she says it's from The Witcher. Okay, thank you to your oldest daughter, Pancake King. Oh, it says, I asked my. Urinity, or no, Old Trinity says, good afternoon. Hey, Henry. Hey, Old Trinity, thank you very much for joining us today. Okay, let's go ahead now and change up the background. Here, Maui Girl gives us a perfectly beautiful picture. This is a beautiful picture, presumably from Maui, where Maui Girl lives, and it's much nicer than the exploding toilet picture that we had in the beginning here. I'm going to put on the reverbus. Let's go ahead and do that now. Do we have reverb? Check. Check in the mic. 1, 2, 2, 2. Please let me know if you hear me with reverb and if you can see me and if there's a background. Maui Girl says this is Ho'opika sunset. Oh, very cool. Okay, we're getting a lot of yeses. Okay, good to hear. We have some song requests. Okay. I want to find out what that was. For the record, I'm getting hungry. Mr. Gooseberry VT, thank you so much for your resubscription at the tier 3 level. That's very, very kind of you. And we have you up on the tier 3 board. So thank you very much for your tier 3 subscription. Game Master Flash says, Maui always looks amazing, but I always think it would be funny if Maui Girl lived in South Dakota. That would be freaking hilarious if she was just posting all these pictures from maybe internet Google searches about Maui, or maybe this is what pictures look like from South Dakota, but none of us know because we never wanted to go there. I feel like I have a little too much headroom. This is a little better. Maybe not. Yeah, now that's too much. There's either not enough or too much. And there's also some kind of situation happening here with that. Okay. Why don't we do a classic song? This one was requested to us by Beanie Bobini, 1979 it's called. And the song was recorded, I think, in 1996 or the other way around. It's very confusing. Jack Dostal says, well, it would make sense if Hawaii Girl posted a lot of pictures of motorcycle rallies at Sturgis, South Dakota. Is that where that is? Sturgis is in South Dakota? It sure would make sense if they did that. Okay, computer, when was 1979 released?
1979 ended 46 years, 4 months, and 3 weeks ago.
Okay, so this song was ended... What? What the fuck? Computer, tell me about the song 1979 by Smashing Pumpkins.
From songfacts.com. This song was the second and final commercial single from Smashing Pumpkins' fourth album, Adore.
Computer, when was the song 1979 released?
1979 by the Smashing Pumpkins was released on October 23, 1995.
Okay, sorry. A little bit of a who's on first moment there. Okay, Blood Snail says, do you know where I can find Jose Suicidio's sheet music? I'm trying to learn to sing. I want to ask the folks on the Discord, didn't I, way back in the chat somewhere, I posted the sheet music for, I believe it was Help Me by Jose Suicidio. I can post it again, but if anybody has that handy, you should be able to find it there in the chat. Sheet music for Help Me. I didn't pin it. Maybe I should pin it. I don't know about putting a pin in it. And also, I recently sent, I believe, the chords to All Alone to, was it Boner of a Lonely Fart? On Patreon, so maybe I can copy and paste that message and put it in there. It's Kate X says, I've got it if the user who asked is in the Discord. Well, I was the one who posted it. I don't think anybody asked for it. I just said if anybody wants. It is on Guitar Tabs. I didn't know that. Oh, Boner of a Lonely Fart says, yeah, I posted it in the music thread on Discord. Okay, so there's at least one song, the All Alone. Thanks, Boner of a Lonely Fart, for doing that. Okay, and Parasitosis says the sheet music is pinned now. Wow, you guys are all amazing. Thank you so much. Tech Shabby says, remember the song In the Year 2525? I do remember it very well. We just did it last week, in fact. So we're on sort of a pattern of doing songs with dates. Maybe we should do the summer of '69. Okay, here we go. This is Smashing Pumpkins. And I actually had to learn this song. It wasn't really the type of music I was into. But I heard it a lot when I was younger, so it wasn't hard to learn. But I learned it this morning, and we're going to do the best that we can with it. Shakedown 1979. Cool kids never have the time. On a live wire right up off the street, you and I should meet. June bugs skipping like a stone. I have no idea what the fuck he's talking about, by the way. Headlights pointed at the dawn. A lot of grunge music was just trying to confuse older people that wanted to learn the hot songs for their top 40 garage band. We were sure we'd never see an end to it all. And I don't even care to shake these zipper blues. We don't know just where our bones will rest to dust, I guess. Forgotten and absorbed to the earth below. Double-cross the bacon and the board. They're not sure what we have in store. Morphine slipping dues down to the sea. We don't even care, as restless as we are. We feel the pull and land of 1,000 guilts and poor cement, lamented and assured. Let's see some of the comments here. Let's see if we're in the right place. Matt Glad says, every Billy lyric is about how great Billy is. Taken in that context, it still makes zero sense. Yeah, at this point, I'd rather just read something that had a clear message to it. I mean, it's a cool, catchy melody, sort of, but the lyrics are very windy. Maybe he needs to listen to some more Beatles or something to learn how to do it. Like a song would be like, Blackbird in dead of night, or, you know, where you can kind of, but it's, we feel the pull of land in 1,000 guilts and poured cement, All right, that's just me sort of doing side commentary. Okay, we have a bridge here. In the shore, to the lights and towns below, faster than the speed of sound, faster than we thought we'd go beneath the sound of hope. I like the major seventh thing. Justine never knew the rules. Hung down with the freaks and ghouls. No apologies ever to be made. And I know you better than you fake it to see that we don't even care to shake these zipper blues, and we don't know just where our bones will rest to dust, I guess, forgotten and absorbed into the earth below. The street heats the urgency of now. As you see, there's no one around. Maui Girl 45 says, "Rest your bone." Was that one of the lyrics? Anyway, I don't mean to, put down the song. I'm not. I'm just an old guy, and I was even an old guy when that song came out in 1995. I was all of 25 years old. Thanks, Maui Girl. No, it is a good song. It's just the lyrics, it seems like it's almost intentionally trying not to rhyme and trying not to have a meter, which makes it very difficult if you're trying to impress the chicks when you're playing songs at the campfire, you know? Tech Shabby says he did have an interesting way of assembling chords. Yeah, I would say so. Corinian Pinion says, come on, 25 is still pretty youthful. Yeah, I guess. Angry Penguin says, do more grunge. You're really good at covering those ones. Wow, thanks. Okay. Well, we have not a grunge song coming up. We have an 80s song from an incredible band that I liked a lot called Cheap Trick from Chicago. And but we're going to change up the background image for this. So let's just look at some more of our backgrounds. Duza sends a picture of their flower bed. That's very nice. What kind of flowers are those? Are those... I've seen those before. They're purple. Dazzlecat says Billy Corgan is also from Chicago. Wow, so much great Chicago stuff. Styx, one of my all-time favorite bands from when I was a little kid. Chicago-based, and so many other bands too. The band Chicago would be one. We found out the hard way. Parasitosis sends us this picture. Is this another picture from the user-sanctioned trip to Japan? What a cool subway that is. That looks really nice. Maui Girl 45 says those are called Barney's balls, those flowers. Oh, cool. Duza says the yellows are irises. Oh, cool. And then, the other ones were called Globemaster Allium. Wow, Globemaster Allium. That would be a killer name for, like, the fourth album from a prog rock band. Not the first three, though. The label would be on them too much to do something commercial. But I think their fourth album, once they finally realize that they have an audience. Okay, Parasitosis says, thoughts on the CIA dialing back rock music in the late 90s? Yeah, I think it was the CIA. they were really upset about the in the late 80s, the rock bands like Warrant and Poison and Motley Crue were getting a little bit too into the glam situation, and they felt like they needed to dial it back. So they put a little bit more grunge into it. That's where grunge came from, I guess. And if you notice, Guns N' Roses in their opening video for it was Welcome to the Jungle, they kind of go back and forth between being glammed out and looking grungy. So they sort of had one foot in each door to see which way the wind was going to blow. I just mixed a lot of metaphors there. Game Master Flash says the train system in Japan is a thing of wonder. That's really cool. I'm glad to hear that. I wish we had more of it here. Although the train ride I took from St. Louis to Chicago a couple months ago was beautiful. I loved that. Piss the Pain Away says, wait, the CIA created grunge? Yeah, I think we all kind of know that at this point, right? I thought it was accepted, settled fact. Computer, isn't it a settled fact that the CIA created grunge music?
I'm not quite sure how to help you with that.
Of course you're not, because Bezos is working for the CIA, I guess. I don't know. Stewart2199 says pretty much open knowledge at this point. Yeah, I'd say. I think it was part of that big release that they just did of files pertaining to 90s rock music. Sociopathogen says, I heard LA has a new D line and they want you on that D. Oh, is that the one that goes through Wilshire and La Brea? Because that's where I used to live, and that would have been a really, really awesome thing for me back when I lived in there. I heard they just opened one up, but congrats. I Slap Catbutt says, the CIA created grunge and it distributed among middle-class neighborhoods in Seattle. Yeah. Matt Glad says, I love that a cooking show is now going off the rails into CIA conspiracies. Sips Flavor Aid. Yeah, well, how are we sure that you're not working for the CIA and trying to make us feel silly about it so we stop talking about it? Just saying. Renthar says, Counting Crows, Incubus, Audio Slave. Corinu Pinion says, I wouldn't go on the D ride. My asshole might end up hurting by the time I get off of it. You mean because it's such a bumpy ride? Well, I think all trains kind of have that. But Japan, parasitosis, in Japan, was it much more smooth? Because this looks like it would be a very smooth ride. Like some roller coasters are more smooth than others. Some of them are very rickety. Dark Ages sends us this awesome picture. Damn, I didn't put the caption, but let's enjoy it nonetheless. Why don't we use this as the background for our next song here? This is a song that was requested to us by... and thanks again, Beanie Bobini, our intern, for requesting that song, 1979. I thought it was a great one. This is Ranger 318. Wanted to hear this song by The Flame, by Cheap Trick, called The Flame. Cheap Trick, of course, being a Chicago band. So if you have some leftover Chicago pizza that you want to put in the air fryer or something, and maybe have a PBR or something of that nature, go ahead and do that during this song, because this is some Chicago greatness right here from the 80s. Computer, when did the song The Flame come out?
The Flame by Cheap Trick was released on January 1st, 1988.
Okay, cool. Game Master Flash said, my buddy Kyle took that picture. He's freaking awesome. Yeah, he is. Is he here so that he can tell us about it? Beanie Bobini, I want it to be well known that I love the music and I like the guy's vocal and the production. I just had a problem with the lyrics, not for any reason other than the fact that I had a difficult time singing them, and I was craving something more easy, because I tend to like easy things because they're less work. But I don't want that in any way to make you think that I don't love that song. It's a great song. And I got memories of being in the bars at 25 years old and going up to a stranger and saying, hey, do you want to go see the back of my van? Those were good times. Jack Dostal says, Chicago shot beer combos. Yeah, do it all to this song. This is a song about lost love, unrequited love, and dedication to trying to get that love back. Here it is. Let's find a good key for it. This is definitely a Jose Suicidio type song, I would say. Pretend you still hold me. I'm going crazy, I'm losing sleep. I'm in too far and I'm way too deep over you. I can't believe you're gone. You were my first, you'll be the last. Let's get a shot of the dog here. Wherever you go, I'll be with you. Yeah, because girls really like it when a guy says that to them. Whatever you want, I'll give it to you. Whatever you want, I'll be... Wait. Whenever you need someone to lay your heart and head upon. Oh, after the fire, after all the rain, I will be the flame. I got thrown by some of those chords. I will be the flame. Watching shadows move across the wall, I feel so frightened. Wait, it turns into a horror movie all of a sudden? Watching shadows move across the wall. Why is he seeing that? I'd be frightened too. I want to run to you, I want to call, but I've been hit by lightning. Wait, this song took a really drastic turn. Now he just got struck by lightning. You know what the odds of that are? Computer, what are the odds of getting struck by lightning?
The odds of getting hit by lightning, also called getting struck by lightning, are 1 in 13,500.
This guy is having a bad night. Just can't stand up for falling apart. Can't see through this veil across my heart over you. You'll always be the one. You were my first, you'll be the last. Wherever you go, I'll be with you. Wherever you go, I'll give it to you. Whenever you need someone to lay your heart and head upon, remember after the fire, after all the rain, I will be the flame. I will be the flame. Tumsta says 1 in 13,000 people have been struck by lightning. What is computer smoking? Yeah, it doesn't sound right. Dendra Leone says, I think I need an Uber home. Yeah, a familiar lyric, all too familiar for those of us that feel Suicidio's pain. Capacious T asks, this was written by that guy from The Great Outdoors that was struck by lightning how many times? You mean the movie The Great Outdoors? Oh yeah, that's right. Angry Penguin says you're probably more likely to get hit by 2 tornadoes than to be hit by 1 lightning. Wow. Okay. We're going to go ahead and do the outro here. You were the first, you'll be the last. Wherever you go, I'll be with you. Come to think of it, I don't think anybody likes it when anybody says that to them. And yet we hear it so often in songs about breakups. Wherever you want, I'll give it to you. There's something wrong with the text writing here that makes me confused. Wherever you go, I will be with you. I will be with you, even when you're doing private stuff. Weird way to end that song. Guy got struck by lightning and then he's seeing shadows on the wall and he's terrified. It started as like a breakup situation and then it turned into just darkness, the way a lot of these songs do. Computer, can we get an update on the Garden Grove situation?
Currently, traffic to Garden Grove at 10608 Garden Grove Boulevard looks pretty clear. The fastest route takes about 52 minutes via
Computer,
I-77.
stop. That's classic LA right there. Yeah, I was trying to find out whether or not a silo filled with toxic chemicals was about to explode and destroy the infrastructure of a small town. And it thought that I wanted to know what the traffic was like in the area because it's all about me. Guitar Joe says, encoded riddle for Henry. The drum sound on In the Air Tonight made me indispensable. But in today's stream, I am unmentionable. Ooh, what is this? This is a riddle. The drum sound on the In the Air Tonight, okay, well that was a fantastic drum fill. And it had a lot, there was a snare that rang out for a very long period of time. Kind of like that one from the Simon and Garfunkel song we listened to recently. Made me indispensable, yeah. So you'd say that after that point in the 80s, every drum sound had to have that. But in today's stream, I'm unmentionable. Today's stream, so there's something about that drumming that also happened during this stream. The echo, I know what it is. It's the reverb. The reverb on the drum sound and then the reverb that we have right now that we don't like to mention. Thank you very much, Guitar Joe, for that encoded message about me leaving the reverb on like an idiot. There we go. Check. 1, 2. If you do need to give us technical advice throughout the stream, please do it in an encoded language so that we can not be, embarrassed about it. Renthar says, I speak after you do, but never interrupt. I make small rooms holy, but don't turn things up. What am I? Wow, that's another beautiful, beautiful riddle for reverb. Thanks, Renthar. WTF says, Garden Grove by Sublime would be a good one for Henry to do. Yeah, well, we'll see how this plays out. It might be unmentionable for a little while. And Nanebran says, Phil Collins for life. Firth of Fifth. Hell yeah. Yeah, Phil Collins for life. Hope he's doing all right. He's had some health problems. Okay, everybody. We've got work to do, but let's go ahead and just finish up through these pictures here. Corinne Pinion sends us this picture of a beautiful animal. Look at that guy. Or that gal. Look at that. Beautiful. Looks like a smile. I like it. We've got our own animal right here at Henry's Kitchen, who seems to be assuming the roast beef role on the Henry's Kitchen show, which is literally to just do nothing. I kind of thought, well, this is a puppy. It's going to jump around and do some fun stuff and we can get more views. But no, you bring these animals in and they just sit there and do fucking nothing. Boner of a Lonely Fart says, in music, you can consult the Furkel of fifths. Yeah, that's true, the Furkel. Computer, what is a Furkel?
According to Wikipedia, purple is a color similar in appearance to violet light. In the Rive color model historically used in the arts, purple is a secondary color created by combining red and blue pigments.
That's fascinating. Okay, how are we doing here? Pug Lady sends us this picture of her tea towels. Look at those. Is that a Millie the Pug tea towel? That's wonderful. And nice kitchen. Pug Lady comes to us from the southwest portion of the United States. Dendra Leon says, ha, computer's an idiot. Yeah, I would tend to agree. What else is going on here? Liberdaria says, Firth of Fifth, that is. Yeah, there's something going on. Liberdaria says Genesis, written by Tony Banks. Computer, tell me about Tony Banks.
Anthony George Banks is an English musician primarily known as the keyboardist and founding member of the rock band Genesis.
Oh, okay.
Banks is also a prolific solo artist, releasing 6 solo studio albums that range through progressive rock, pop, and classical
Computer,
music.
stop. I actually don't know Tony Banks, and I'm kind of bummed out about that because I like Genesis. I bet he loves the fact that everybody else from Genesis became huge stars. Mike from Mike and the Mechanics, Phil Collins, Peter Gabriel, Steve Hackett. I don't know if Steve Hackett was a huge star, but he made a great album called GTR. Okay, I Slap Cat Butts sends us picture of... Look at that. I love that. Just living their best life. Having a couple of little toys and playing around. I'll bet if that were video footage, it would be very engaging and fun video of animals doing cute things as opposed to what we have here, which is just a whole lot of nothing. No action going on. Okay. What else do we have here? Capacious Tea sends us this picture, which appears to be... Oh yeah, this is a pesticide, do-it-yourself pesticide display. Look at this. Look how dark. Tomb of the Unknown Termite. Wanda the Black Widow. Ferdinand the Fly. And then there's a dead rat. Well, I'm kind of hoping that... Computer, do dogs eat cockroaches?
Dogs might accidentally eat cockroaches, but it's not recommended as it can be harmful to their health. It's best to keep your home free of pests to protect your pet's well-being. Always consult a vet for specific dietary advice.
I thought one of the points of having little animals like this is that they'll eat your cockroaches, but I guess not. Now I feel like I might have offended them. I'll bet you anything Brisket right now is thinking, this guy wants me to eat his fucking cockroaches? Get me out of here. Capacious T says that place is so weird. Yeah, it sounds weird. Okay, let's go ahead and look at the last picture. This comes to us from Dooza. Another picture from Duza. And it's Phyllis. Wow, that's cool. Phyllis the turtle, that's really cool. Is it a turtle? My eyes aren't so good, but very awesome. Thank you. I also want to thank the users. I believe it was the moderators who gifted me this incredible coffee. It's called The Village. It's from New York City, and it's just absolutely fantastic. Thank you so much. I don't know if you guys know how much easier it is to wake up in the morning knowing that you've got some kind of coffee that's delicious. Oh, It's Kate says it's from myself and B. Okay, It's Kate X and Beelzebub, this was a wonderful gift. Thank you so much for that. Here, I'm going to show everybody. It's from Joe Coffee. This is the gift I got from Beelzebub and It's Kate. Born in the heart of New York City, Joe Coffee believes in curiosity, conversation, and openness. Our cafes are places where all are welcome. Diversity is celebrated, and the coffee is always crafted and served with love. Enjoy a cup of coffee with us and grab a seat on the bench. Well, I feel like I am in the West Village, for example, in New York City, which is a great place to be. Maybe in the spring or the fall. Summers are a little humid. Winters can be brutal. But the one that I'm drinking now is called The Village, and then this next one's going to be the French roast. Burnt sugar, baking chocolate, and roasted almond. I cannot wait. This is so good. Thanks again, It's Kate. And yeah, that's right, It's Kate. Each packet has different flavors. That was a wonderful gift. Okay. Well, I think it's time. Goldfish Vendor says, is today Memorial Day? I think it's officially tomorrow. And remember, that only happens in the U.S., but it's a time that we have set aside for us to remember those who fought in our wars bravely and sadly lost their lives. And it's become it's a 3-day weekend, and it's kind of an exciting time here in America because it means the summer is on its way. Computer, when does summertime start?
In the United States, summer begins on Sunday, June 21st.
Wow, not even for another month, so we've got a lot more time. Okay, well, let's take a look at what we're doing here. We're making pizza pockets. Well, that's no good. Fuck. Okay. So you're supposed to use pizza dough or pizza crust. I figure that's just bread, so we're just going to use bread. We've got a pepper jack cheese, some type of deli meat. I don't know why we're using the egg, but we also need barbecue sauce. And unfortunately, right before the stream, I noticed this is steak sauce, but how much different could they be, really? They come in similar jars. Beanie Bobini says mystery meat. Yeah, that's exactly what that is. Royal Flush 9 says it's just water and flour. Yeah, that's all bread is. Capacious T says, I tried to join the army once, but I couldn't run. Ah, sorry to hear that. You Fear Jazz says everything the body needs. Yeah, this is going to be a healthy dish. Guitar Joe says, oh no. I wanted to show the stream to my kids later, but I'm afraid the broken sign might give them ennui. Yeah, kids are famous for being stricken with ennui when they see subpar equipment happening on a live streaming kitchen show. So be careful about that. Z. Bradbell says, indeed, what difference could there be? Yeah. Tech for Methy says steak sauce has steak in it. Barbecue sauce has bits of barbecue in it, of an old barbecue. Ishmael says it's a European style N. Okay, well maybe that's what that is. Computer, can I replace barbecue sauce with steak sauce?
Yes, you can use steak sauce instead of barbecue sauce in most recipes. It offers a rich, savory flavor that works well with grilled meats, though the taste will be different from barbecue sauce.
Okay, but it offers a rich. That's good to know. Van Honkerton says, hello, I can hear you. Can you hear me? Yes, Van Honkerton, I can hear you and I can see you. Can you see me and can you hear me? Okay. Capacious T says, did you ever think of joining the military, Henry? Yes, when I was in my early 20s, it was something that myself and a lot of my friends considered. I have a couple friends that actually did. I went a different route. But, yeah, that was definitely on the table. Guitar Joe says, computer takes interadjectival commas very seriously. Interadjectival commas? Oh, I see what you mean. Yeah. That pause on rich was kind of interesting. A rich. It sounded like a period. Parasitosis says, I would have loved to have gone AWOL. Yeah. That would be fun, I suppose. Dark Ages says, I thought about the army. Dad said, son, you're fucking high. Love it. Ben Folds 5 reference. Great song. Great era. Okay. Let's go ahead and do this. Let's take a look at our... I'm going to go ahead and find a picture here that's going to match the food that we're making. If I can... I'm not sure why I can't seem to. Hold on, I can do this. Save image as. That, of course, is the amazing waffle we made last week. Holy shit, that was good. It's going to be hard to compete with that. Is this it? No. Why does it always give me the asparagus? That really pisses me off. There we go. This is what we're making today. We're making pizza hot pockets, barbecue style. This is going to be fucking delicious. Just looking at that, I'm just like, this is going to be so good. Okay. So let's see what we've got to work with here. Wow, no, there's literally no talking about it. Okay, so we've gone over the ingredients. Now let's go to the directions. We're going to preheat our oven to 400 degrees. Very important. Take everything out of the oven. Okay. We're going to portion our pizza dough into segments, and we're going to roll out into rounds. Okay, so we're using bread. Okay, so we're going to get right into it here. Let's see if we can get a little bit more of a pizza looking shape with these things. I would just need to find my pizza roller. I don't see it. Computer, where's my pizza roller?
There were no matches for that in your recent orders. To view more details, go to your orders on Amazon.
Ah, I've got it. You got to watch out for this thing. This thing will fucking kill somebody. It's so hardcore. It can be, like, if anybody breaks into your apartment, just remember that you have this thing, and this will kill somebody. Don't drop it on your toes like I have done. So what we're doing is we're basically rolling our bread out into more of a sort of a pizza form. This is going to allow us to turn it over, because it is sort of a turnover, what we're making. Ladies Lade says, wow, if only computers knew such things. Yeah, computers never know anything, it seems like. Okay, I'd like it to be a little more round, but that's okay. Okay. There's that, and then this. I'll be using a sourdough bread today. You can probably use just about any type of bread that you can come up with. Wheat bread, you can do that, but it's not going to taste as good. They have some pizzas that have wheat crust, and they've got, like, you know, vegetables or something on top of them. To me, it kind of defeats the purpose of having a pizza. You know, pizza is supposed to be, you're just kind of deciding to let everything go. You don't have to think about being healthy while you're eating pizza. Okay, there we go. Yeah, that's nice. Now, we're going to add a spoonful of our barbecue sauce. And remember, I do not have barbecue sauce. I have whatever this is, steak sauce. Now, it just says a spoonful. What kind of spoon? There's tablespoon, there's teaspoon, there's quarter teaspoon. There's so many spoons. Oh, whoa! That came out really fast. Okay. Oh, we only want this on 1/2 of the dough. I don't know why. Oh, probably because it's going to be a turnover. Okay, it smells weird. Watch out, this stuff is going to come out fast. If you're just joining us, we are making Memorial Day barbecue pizza pockets. This is going to be a nice hors d'oeuvres. If you've got friends coming over to watch the Twilight Zone marathon on Memorial Day with you, or if you're just watching it by yourself with your pet, these are going to be a nice little snack for you. And I think that does it with our brown paste. Waffles92 says, what do I do if I don't have friends? That's okay. You can watch TV by yourself and eat these pizza pockets and just think to yourself about how you're going to get friends, or maybe just what you might have done wrong so that you don't have any friends. But friends are not required for this recipe or pretty much any Henry's Kitchen recipe. Matt Glad says, I get the feeling that the steak sauce is going to not be great alternative for barbecue sauce. Well, we're going to find out. What I'm curious about is, why do I have an egg here? I do not know that. Okay, so now we're going to add our pepper jack cheese on top of the barbecue sauce. But as you guys know, we don't have barbecue sauce. We have steak sauce. So we're going to lay down our cheese. Don't overfill. We want to leave a 1/2 inch on the edge. I can't do that. Well, I guess I could. On which edge? All of it? So we're going to have to fold this up. Sort of. Just kind of improvise. Really what you want is less area being taken up by your cheese, or less real estate, I guess is what you'd say. And then we're also going to add our meat on top of there in the same kind of way. We're making basically a pizza, but it's going to be a pocket pizza, or a pizza pocket. Pocket pizza was what JV's text said that he has. I always ask my dates if they don't mind putting a little bit of, like if we go out for pizza, I say, can you put some of that pizza in your pocket so that we can save it for leftovers. Because I think that people like frugality in their date. Okay, fold over. Okay, this is the part that's going to be difficult. Going to do the best I can. I'm not necessarily a baker, but we're basically making a turnover, which is a baked good. I want to just make sure I'm doing this right. Fold over the other half of the dough to form a turnover, and then you want a fork handy. Jack Dossel says, do you have to fold yourself over? No, I think they mean fold. But you're right. It is kind of weird the way they phrase it. They just say fold over. They don't say fold what over. I assume they're talking about the dough. But we're going to use a fork to press the edges of it together to seal. And we're going to, this is why I like to look ahead. We need a parchment paper lined parchment tray. So let's get that set up now, because we don't want to be doing that while we've got all kinds of shit on our hands and whatnot. Ow! Fuck! Sorry everybody, I cut myself on the little sliver that's supposed to cut the paper, and the door does not close. Sorry everybody. I've had a lot of these, we've got movement coming from the brisket area here. That's called downward dog. I'm sure we've all seen downward dog. It comes from, if you were wondering the etymology of it, it comes from dogs. Wow, he almost looks like he's in a pooping position there. Okay, enough of that. Angry Penguin says he smells the meat. Yeah, he might. Here. Okay, let's fold over. Try not to get distracted. Fold over very carefully here. We're going to use that fork to press down the edges to seal. See how we're forming a seal here. Okay. And let's do the same thing with our other one. Boy, this is going to be fucking delicious. Which is what it says on my spatula. Okay, so now I understand. So the egg is going to act as a wash. We've done that before. You know what we should do? This is just an idea I just had. I'm going to get some more bowls. Well, for one thing, I've got a new setup for our brisket cam. Wow, she's really buried in there. So she's back in her cage. Everyone type Forson says, I do not authorize Mark Zuckerberg to sneak into my house and eat anything in my fridge. With this statement, I notify Facebook and Mark Zuckerberg to leave my milk, eggs, butter, cheese, veggies, sandwich meats, pickles, and leftover pizza alone. Signed, everyone type Forson. Yes, please do this. If you want, you can just copy and paste all of the text of what everyone type Forson just said and replace it with your name. And let's get it going. Mark Zuckerberg is trying to, according to a new rule, a new Facebook term of service, you're tacitly giving him the right to go into your house and take things from your fridge unless you do one of these statements. So definitely do that right away. Androfight says, I do not authorize Mark Zuckerberg. Yeah, Carinu Pinion, I do not authorize Mark Zuckerberg. I think everybody should do this. Lady Dina, thank you. Dazzlecat says, I don't think it's a good idea. It leaves out everything in my cabinets and countertops. Yeah, well, it's a start at least. Okay. Here's what I want to do. It's not often I get inspired to do something like this. We're going to make a makeshift assembly line. Hold on. I have some cornflakes here. We're going to pour them into one of these bowls. Why does it look like one of those bowls is bigger than the other? It's got to be an optical illusion because they're literally the same bowl. Okay. So we've got some cornflakes there. And then in the other one, we're going to have our egg wash. So let's go ahead and do that. Under ingredients where it said egg, beaten with a tablespoon of water. I don't know why we need that, but I'm not one to not do those types of things. So let's go ahead and put some water in there. And now let's find... I'm going to use the medium-sized whisker for this one. I guess I call this one the teenager whisker. Meatballs77 says, how did you get one bowl to occupy two spaces? It seems like there should be a law of physics prohibiting that. Well, that's what you call movie magic. Royal Flush 9 says, oh, was this the saved egg from the waffles? No, this was a separate egg. I should have used the saved egg. Okay, it is time. We are now going to be placing these on the baking sheet by first. We will be putting them in the egg wash. And then the next part of our assembly line here is that we are dipping them then into the cornflakes. Watch out that it doesn't come apart. And then we're going to just place it gently onto our parchment situation. So I'm going to try to get this so that you can see what I'm doing here a little better. Okay, so I'm taking our turnover. Computer, why do they call it a turnover?
Sorry, I don't know that.
No one knows why they call it a turnover. But anyway, we're going to take that and then we're going to put it in this. This is also going to sort of solidify it, which is nice. Okay, and then let's put this over here. And there's nothing wrong with taking the rest of your assembly line ingredients and putting them over top. Capacious T says that looks like something. Yeah, it really does. Uniquely Evil says sensory daymare. Okay. I'm going to wash some of this egg off my hands. And now for the final step. Philomer says, do you ever think that computer debates whether it's worth the effort to look something up? I think a lot of times she just says, I don't know. Sorry, I can't help you with that. And it just doesn't even give me the answer. Corinne Opinion says your assembly line technique is so iconic, Henry. Thank you. I kind of like to think of it as sort of my signature in the kitchen. It's the greatest cooking thing I've ever seen. Wow, that's very cool. Thank you. Roar Boy says at least she's humble. Turn off the AC. Okay, now we're going to place this in the baking sheet in the oven, and we're going to bake it until it is golden brown and delicious. So we want to make sure it's delicious before we take it out of the oven. I don't know how you would do that. Capacious T says, I want to see that cereal box again. It's magic on camera. Whoa, you're right. It's quite amazing. There's like a turtle in there. Yeah, that is really, really spooky. Okay. I'm putting these in the oven. Is Beelzebub here? I'm seeing Beelzebub. Beelzebub, thank you so much for that coffee. It's so fucking delicious. Computer, set timer for 15 minutes.
15 minutes, starting now.
Now for the fun part. We're going to get our plating ready. And we can put this over to be cleaned. Boner of a Lonely Fart says that's a whisk I'm willing to take. I'm willing to take it too. Beelzebub says you're welcome. Happy you liked it. Have even more coffee for you. Wow, that's great. This is the next one on the list. We're doing the French roast. It says burnt sugar. They know what they're doing. To me, that would sound like a weird thing if it's burnt, but these guys know what they're doing. Baking chocolate and roasted almond. Wow. Matt Glad says, I thought all of this was the fun part. No. Unfortunately, this is not the fun part. This is the cooking part. This is not the fun part. Corinne Opinion says, would you say cooking is fun or it's a miserable chore that drives you to end it all? Probably the latter. Brisket, still just doing a whole lot of sleeping, right back in that shrimp fetal position that roast beef was famous for. Okay, why don't we use the Holy Guacamole song from Jose Suicidio as the melody for our thank you song this time around. This is a song I like to do to thank you, the users of Henry's Kitchen. And don't forget, it's never too late to be a user. Let's see how we're doing on our... Wow, there's been a lot of alerts, and somehow I missed them, and I hate that. I like to say them in real time. Thanks, Ladies Laid and Lady Dina, for your bits. And Capacious T, thanks for resubscribing for 6 months. That's amazing. Thank you. Mike Rochburns, 97, has resubscribed for 2 months. Thank you very much, Mike Rochburns, and says, looking good, Henry. Thank you very much. That's very nice to hear some encouragement there. Lady Dina, thanks again. And Anonymous, the group Anonymous, I'm sure you're familiar with these people. This is the group that does all the digital hacking. They took their time and came in here to do a gift for Mark Zuckerberg. Mark Zuckerberg, of course, the CEO of Facebook and the founder of Facebook. An anonymous user gifted a tier 1 sub to Mark Zuckerberg. Now, Anonymous is a user, but don't forget that they are recovering. And Anonymous also gifted a tier 1 sub to Zuckerberg's gray t-shirt. Wow, not just to Zuckerberg, but also to his shirt. Thanks for that, Anonymous. And Bo Jingles, member of the famous song, Mr. Bo Jingles, has, or Boy Jingles, B-O-I, Boy Jingles, has subscribed. Thank you very much on Prime. Philomer says it's amazing that the reach that this cooking TV show has. Yeah, it really is. I mean, right now, let's say we have 271 viewers. That's a lot. We better get into the song right now because I want to do something entertaining if we can, which will be a little bit of a departure for us. Angry Penguin says, Mike Rochburns, friends with Ben Dover? Mike Rochburns. Computer, who is Mike Rochburns?
From BurningMan.org. He is a longtime member of the Burning Man community.
Okay, Mike Rochburns is a member of the Burning Man community. And also friends with somebody named Ben Dover. Beanie Bo Beanie says there's a video he did where the only thing in his living room shelves was a bottle of Sweet Baby Ray's. Lizard person. Wow. Okay, so let's go ahead and do this song here with the melody of Jose Suicidio's Holy Guacamole. Let's get the reverb back on. We've got it. Okay, good. We've got our temporary mascot of the show, Brisket, in assuming the position of shrimp fetal, which was roast beef's favorite position. Hey. Hey. I feel bad that I woke her up. But, you know, we got to get them in cute positions if their whole goal is to try to get more views. Okay, all right. As you were. Here we go. Fucking and Dingo Bob, Dom Beef Hot Bear 1110, Do Dingle Do Goggle, Dr. Flanges, Bacchus, and also Shane, yes. Wait, why does it sound like it's completely in the wrong key? Fucking. Oh, maybe it's because this thing is in the wrong. Fucking and Dingo Bob, that's better. Dom Beef Hot Bear 1110, Dr. Flanges, Do Dingle Doc Goggle, and Bacchus. Shane, yes, Beelzebub, Mochi's Nirvana. It's Kate and Kairos, Bumble Vision, the LGX, Chef Reactions, and Husky Boyo. Bill Larkin, Music, the Toily, Nim, Moon, Amaru, Orca Mind, S-Fan, and Bonnie, Dazzle, Capillary, Little Quest. Boars and Vanilla, Parasitosis, don't forget Quanto. Beanie Bo Beanie. I'm going to have to do something else because this song, the chords aren't coming to me. Here, I'm going to get rid of the capo. We're going to go to 225 Yarchasm, Nico Tazo, Michael Bublé, 4422 Pat, Potato Cap Raider, Passion Error, Min Ocean, 64 Midnight Faded, GSBX Fan, Esditus, Pool Boy, 789, D's Nuts, Game Master Flash, Mimsy Coon, the Cat Food Taste Tester, the Chernax and Mochi's Nirvana, Red Hot Hibachi, Ransom, GR, Esditus, Michelle Heffy, BK69, Rose Dower 007, Royal Flush 9, Dazzle Cat, Zod Bane, and Toke My Nuts, Saguaro, Uberito 5555, Dinosaur, Ice Slap, Cat Butts, and JB's Tech, and Sickly Boy, Beelzebub, Hen Lips 1, Caitlin's Kitchen, Lisi T, Purple Donut filling his fruit, Tankerton, Borson Ben Zodiac Tone, Gary Busey, ASMR Lurk Bull, Shandus Nova Glarian, Mr. Gooseberry VT, and don't forget Quantum, and our intern Beanie Bobini. And Beelzebub says Nancy. Guitar Joe says, let's all appreciate the relief felt the moment a capo is removed from a guitar neck. Ooh, yeah. It makes it easier to do things like this, though, if you want to do a piece of music that was meant to be done with open strings, but you want to see what it sounds like at a higher timbre. Oops, I can't do it anymore. Wait. Okay, I'm going to stop. I lost it. I think it's because it's in a different key and it's hard. It smells good in here. Maui Girl 45 says, I enjoyed your piano playing during the special. Thanks. And I want to let everybody know that if you want to watch the comedy special that I did 10 years ago, there's been a 10-year anniversary release of it on a YouTube channel called Blonde Medicine. And people are enjoying it. I do songs, stories. I have special guests. And thanks, Game Master Flash. Says it's a great album, great special. The special is called Neither Here Nor There. There's also a link to it on my website, henryphillips.com. Oh, Goosebag wants to hear Classical Gas. Let's see if we can do that. That's me just kind of faking my way through it. But it's a great piece if you guys want to listen. Game Master Flash says, every news show in the 70s opened up with this. Yes. Fond memories of the news back in those days. Remember when the news was just sort of delivered dryly and not by somebody who's purposely trying to get you to have a heart attack? Computer, how much time left on the timer?
You have 4 minutes and 10 seconds left on your 15-minute timer.
Wow, we're doing a good job killing time here. Bonjour Gourmand says, goddamn, did you just figure out Classical Gas by ear? Well, I grew up hearing it. I think I probably did sit down and try to listen by ear. I'd never had the music for it. I never had the sheet music. I was just kind of trying to imitate it. So I guess, yeah, but not right now, but I did many years ago. I tried to learn it by ear. Capitious T says, man, we need that. We need back the dry news. Yeah, I agree. Network is real. Network is a great movie. Piss the Pain Away says, I'm a fan of wet news. Okay, well, some people like the wet news, in which case you're probably very happy during this era where it's nothing but wet news. It's a little bit like yellow journalism. Guitar Joe says, Henry's special on Blonde Medicine. Blonde Medicine is what I need. Oh, yeah, shake it up. He's on Blong Medicine. There's no other channel hosting it for free. Yeah, that's a sounds like a parody of Bon Jovi's Bad Medicine. Your love is like bad medicine. That was my go-to karaoke song for a while, until I was asked to leave. Hopeful Equinox says your stream was tasteful today, Henry. Thanks. I try to keep things tasteful if I can, but I will say fuck or shit or those types of things here and there. And we're talking a lot about piss, I guess. Capacious T says, "Oh, is it yellow because it's covered in piss?" Yeah. That's what I was going for there, but I wasn't sure whether or not everybody understood. Computer, how are we doing on the time?
I'm not quite sure how to help you with that.
Okay. I want to also say it's been brought to my attention that I have some type of bodily condition called farmer's tan. This is something that happens when you wear shirts that are shorter sleeves after you've already worn a longer sleeve shirt and stayed in the sun. Z. Bradbell says, Farmer Stan? No, it's not a farmer named Stan. It's a farmer's, apostrophe S, tan. And Parasitosis says it's better than trucker tan, which would just be the one arm that's always exposed to the sun while you're driving. But I just want to let you know that we here at Henry's Kitchen are aware of this situation. We are working around the clock to try to figure out a solution. So if you'll just bear with us, we will figure it out. Dazzlecat says, sorry to hear, is there a cure? No, like Bon Jovi says in the song, there ain't no medicine to cure my disease. Beelzebub says, nude golf. Yeah, I was doing a little bit of nude golf, and so you can see that a little bit in my my farmer's tan. Nancy Droodles says, send Henry wife beaters. Stat. Yeah, we're going to need that for the golf course. Z. Bradbell says, I'm actually a farmer, Stan. I'm obsessed with farmers. So you stan the farmers. Computer, is stan a verb or a noun?
From thecontentauthority.com. Stan is a versatile term that can function as both a noun and a verb, depending on the context in which it is used.
Okay. Well, I guess it's a versatile word. It can be used in a lot of different situations. Okay. Ishmael says, isn't it hard to farm in this cave we're in? Oh boy. I know what that's a reference to, and fuck me. Computer, stop. Ooh, our stuff's ready, but Ishmael was subtly bringing up the fact that I am currently using reverb, and I want to get rid of that. That should only be used during the musical segments. Okay, well, fuck, I'm excited to see what we've got here. Let's go ahead and get a pot holder this time. We all remember what happened when I didn't use a pot holder. We'll turn off the oven. Whoa. Guys, I think we have another Henry's Kitchen success on our hands. Wow! That thing is hot even with... Woo-hoo-hoo. Even with the pot holders, this thing is hot. I want to get all of this covered, because what happens is I forget it's hot and I grab it to wash the dishes later and it's freaking hot. Okay. Beanie Bobini says, steak sauce mystery meat pocket pizza. Yeah, it could maybe go the wrong way, but I don't know, guys. This is looking pretty good and it smells good. That's the most important part. Is it healthy? I doubt it, but that's not really what we're doing here. Okay. I mean, is it pizza? I don't think so. I don't think that there's any definition of pizza that would include this. So no, we're not making pizza here. Did we put any salt and pepper on it by any chance? If we didn't, allow me to introduce to you a gift that I got from Game Master Flash. The salt and pepper shakers. So this is salt and pepper shakers that contain the pictures of Salt and Peppa, which is the rap outfit. And I think it's absolutely adorable. And thank you, Game Master Flash, for gifting me these salt and pepper shakers. Okay. Angry Penguin wants to know, can we eat art, though? Well, I am going to, because I am starving. It's like, can you drink a bottle of wine that's been preserved for 100 years? Well, yeah. Renthar says, I like when the main Simpson eats donut. Okay. Here we go. I'm going to go ahead and take a bite out of this thing here. See what we've got. What have we done? And try to find a bite that includes a little bit of everything. It's a lot more eggy than I thought. This kind of looks a little bit like an omelet with some bread mixed up in it. You know what, guys? I would say this is a number 4, except at the last minute I did something that made it a number 5. This is fucking delicious. And you know what that thing was? It's the cornflakes. The cornflakes are making this thing a fucking delicious afternoon snack. Look at this. Those cornflakes kind of toasted over with the egg. Who would have ever thought that cornflakes and egg would have been a good combo? We've been eating one or the other this whole time. I'm going to have another bite. Fucking great. Stephanie says, would have been straight mush without. You might be right. Game Master Flash says, we needed this win. This is a 5-star gourmet fucking delicious meal right here at Henry's Kitchen. Look what we've done. Just take a look at that. That looks like something that you'd get at a really fancy restaurant. And we made it right here at Henry's Kitchen. I'm going to take one more bite. And then I'm going to let you enjoy your Memorial Day weekend. What do you think of that, brisket? Doesn't really give a shit. Brisket brought to you by Camera for OBS Studio. Dark Ages says, I'll bet if Anthony Bourdain were alive, he'd fucking love this. I think he would. Did Anthony Bourdain partake of the marijuana? Because if he did, then I think he'd like it even more. Game Master Flash says, that looks like something I'd get at a dilapidated truck stop. Yeah. You know, like they've got in the little glass display windows there at the Flying J. It kind of looks like it will fall over when you kick it, and the food there is usually amazing. Yeah, and you know what? Yeah, I know exactly the type of place you're talking about. Flying J, definitely. Or, well, that's a bit more corporate, but yeah, just a little truck stop just sort of in the middle of nowhere. Goosebag says, if you wanted to enhance the flavor, you could have added salt and pepper. Oh, I forgot to. Oh my God. I brought out the salt and pepper shakers and I just was so happy about how they looked. I didn't even put it. I should put a little bit of salt and pepper. Okay. One more bite. What is that? Oh, it's just cheese. It felt like hair, but it's just melted cheese. Yeah. Good call. That salt and pepper was a good call. All right, everybody. More alerts here. I do kind of wish it was barbecue sauce instead of steak sauce, but you can't have everything. A couple other things here. I want to thank Anonymous for gifting a tier 1 sub to Nice Cock Bro. It says Anonymous user gifted a tier 1 sub to Nice Cock Bro. Thank you very much, Anonymous, for all that you do. And also Unfinished Character. Thank you very much, Unfinished Character, for your wonderful subscription for 1 month. We have, if anybody's keeping track, 428 subscribers. Wait, did I miss another one? Goosebag, it says? It says Goosebag got gifted a resub by Beanie Bo Beanie. Thank you very much, but that came up in a different place. Yeah, Beanie Bo Beanie gifted a tier 1 sub to Goosebag. Thank you for that. Thank you, everybody. Tech Shabby says, will you try making Australian chicken salt? Sounds interesting. I've never heard of it. But here, I'll write it down. I did write it down, unfortunately, under the song requests queue list. But I think I'll know when I see it that it's not a song request for a song called Australian Chicken Salt. Sounds more like a band. All right, everybody. I want to thank you so much for joining us here at Henry's Kitchen. Guitar Joe, no, there will be gaming in June. That's going to happen for sure. I'm talking to the mods about possibly getting into having access to more games. That's something that we're deliberating on at the moment. It's got to get back. We got to get back into the gaming because I had a lot of fun back when we were doing it, and I want to do more. Thanks, Gumme Cande. Thanks, Maui Girl, Altrinity, Renthar. Thank you, all of you. Philimer. Thanks, It's Kate, for all that you do, and Beelzebub for this amazing coffee, and Nancy Droodles. Nancy Droodles, did you see the Cheap Trick song? That seems like that would be one that's up your alley because you're from Chicago. And thanks, Beanie Bo Beanie, for suggesting the grunge song by Smashing Pumpkins. Thanks, Royal Flesh 9. Chernot the Singer, thank you very much, Chernot, for joining us. Your name sounds like a Dungeons and Dragons name for, Chernot the Magic User or something like that. I think I had a 4th level magic user named Chernot. But oh no, I'm sorry. That's right. Your name is Cher, not the singer. I always get that wrong. Cher, parentheses, not the singer. I always think Chernot the singer. Shandis, thank you very much, and Angry Penguin and Capacious T. Game Master Flash says 4th level manager is a good early villain in a campaign. Yeah, 4th level manager. You don't want to run into that person. Okay, everybody. Thanks again for joining us. I hope you have a great rest of your weekend. For people in the U.S., a 3-day weekend. And I hope to see you Wednesday at 11 a.m. for more shit. But today, oh my God, we made something really delicious. Okay. Thanks again, everybody. I'll see you on Wednesday.